It's another edition of Kaleidoscope on Channels Television. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. I'm Anne Nwawadu. On Kaleidoscope today, we speak with the CEO and Managing Director of Baobab Microfinance Bank, Eric Ntumba, where he revealed the giant strides that the company is making in driving development in the microfinance industry. Once again, welcome to Kaleidoscope. Baobab Microfinance Bank Nigeria Limited is a leading financial institution in Nigeria and a subsidiary of the Baobab Group. Let's find out more.
Established in 2009, Baobab Microfinance Bank Nigeria Limited is one of the leading financial institutions in Nigeria. It is a subsidiary of the Baobab Group headquartered in Paris, France, which operates across multi-African countries, including Senegal, Madagascar, Côte d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, Mali, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Baobab Nigeria's mission has been to empower small businesses, and its vision is to become the leading financial service provider of this sector, placing the customer at the heart of every strategy and enhancing financial inclusion. With a growing presence of 38 branches across 16 states and the Federal Capital Territory, the company is expanding its physical footprint while accelerating its digital presence to bring banking closer to more people. Baobab Microfinance Bank offers innovative financial solutions for individuals and businesses, including flexible loans, SME financing, smart savings products, and Jollof Plus, which is its digital savings platform designed for seamless and goal-oriented saving. The company also provides competitive savings and fixed deposit investment solutions tailored to support short and long-term financial goals. Recognized as one of Nigeria's most innovative microfinance institutions, Baobab Nigeria is more than just a bank. It is a partner in progress, a bridge between ambition and opportunity, and a relevant contributor to the country's trillion-dollar economy agenda.
Let's now hear from the MD CEO of Baobab Microfinance Bank, Eric Ntumba. So let's begin with what inspired the creation of Baobab Microfinance Bank. How did this journey begin for you?
The journey began 16 years ago. I believe the founders of Microcredit then, even a little earlier Planet Finance, saw missing middle in the African financial landscape. It was even beyond Africa because the first branches were actually opened in Mexico and China. And we also got the first subsidiaries in Africa, I think in 2009. It was a need to find a way to serve the people that were almost excluded from the then classic financial services. And it started with some visionaries from France, particularly Mr. Jacques Attali and the first MD of the group, Arnaud Ventura. So they saw a need and they actually provided a way to respond to it. And this is how the group Baobab started. And Nigeria was one of the first. And in Nigeria, it started back then in Kaduna, a small unit microfinance bank that grew into a state microfinance bank and moved to conquer bigger spaces in Lagos later on, to now what is 38 branches, large microfinance bank, one of the largest national microfinance bank, with more than 800 staff working for it. We provide best-in-class services ranging from loans, from savings and investments options, insurance services, and also transactional banking. Basically, we look at banking as something that people should enjoy seamlessly from the comfort of their home or their offices without having to go through the market frictions of transport, of branch opening hours. So we really look forward to complement our brick and mortar offer with a fully digitalized offer that can actually make people become their own bankers, leveraging on the product that we bring on the market. So yes, a classic bank in that regard, but through our phygital approach that combines physical branches and digital offer, we believe to be also quite a bank of the future.
Now, when you look at the journey and how it all began 16 years after, how would you describe the operations, the experience, and what it's been like when you joined and up till now that you are the CEO?
When I look at the history, I believe that we have evolved almost at the same pace as the market dynamics actually were moving. And we really had before, that's what we consider as being a physical bank, where the core growth focus was on opening physical branches, to a shift that actually occurred 3 years ago when I arrived, where we understood that the best way to reach any Nigerian at any time was not to stop branch expansion. We are still quite keen on it, hoping to reach 100 additional branches in the next couple of years, but to look at digital ways that can help us massively grow and cover the full territory. There are things you can only do when you scale from physical service options to digital one. You can now really stop thinking of the 500,000 clients we've served over the 15 years to really look at a client base above 2 million, 3 million, and this is where we are heading to. So the key change, I'll say, since I arrived, has been the accelerated digitalization of our offer. I think it's best materialized through one of our flagship products, which is Jollof Plus, which helps or has been helping, because now it has been there for a while, at least for the last 2 years, Nigerians to save seamlessly and from anywhere and at any time. And this offer is still being beefed up. We'll soon launch the digital lending leg of the same Jollof product. And we believe that we should be ready to fully compete with people that were digital natives in that regard. And that has always been the aim. We have always been in the top 3, to be modest, of the traditional microfinance bank. And we had a clear sense that we needed to go digital in order to remain relevant as the market was shifting with new entrants. And this is what we've been doing actively for the last 3 years.
Let's talk about impact. Those impacts you have made through corporate social responsibility. I mean, as every responsible organization is expected, you have to do something to impact society positively. So what has Baobab Microfinance Bank done in that regard?
The first impact we have is directly linked with our activity. If I look at our economic impact, as I say, we grew from a very tiny unit microfinance bank in Kaduna to one of the biggest national microfinance bank. When I take the number of employees we have, it's over 800, and that alone has a real economic impact, a direct one. When I look at the number of loans we've been able to disburse over the last 15 years, it's over 500,000 businesses that we've managed to service. And if you look at the ripple effect of the loans they've managed to get, we've seen them grow, and our growth is the story of their own, so that there's a direct impact. But our approach has always been what is sometimes labeled as a triple P approach. We look at people, we look at the planet, while we make profit. In terms of CSR, we've got a wide array of initiatives, ranging from free microinsurance that we did in partnership with AXA, to actually ignite in people the needs or the understanding of the insurance product. Insurance has not really penetrated Africa as it should. including Nigeria, because people do not always make the right connection between being covered and rainy days. And we felt like if we hold these people for a while, if they get to understand that it is not as expensive as sometimes people think it is, and that there is a real value beyond it, then people may be much more interested in covering themselves. And that has been quite successful, and we intend to keep on doing that. We believe that people that are in better health will definitely be better borrowers. So it's in some way, we are also de-risking our direct activity while taking this type of initiatives. There's one beautiful one that we did, I think it was in 2023, the year that I just arrived. We helped a school where the people, the kids in that school could pay tuition with old plastic bottles. So what the school did was giving access to education to those small kids in disadvantaged areas of Lagos. And in doing so, in allowing them to pay tuition with used bottles that they then recycle, they managed to make money to keep the school going. So they were acting on 3 levels, and we felt that this is the type of partnership we would really like to be associated with. They were helping cleaning the direct environment, they were doing recycling, which is good for the planet, and they were educating the future of Nigeria while doing so. And that for me was a striking example of where we could contribute with our little means. We have also a strong vertical on education and on girls' education, and we've been doing quite a lot on that, giving full bursaries to young girls so that they go through their schooling years. We have a special focus on supporting the widows in helping their kids register and go through school. So that's on the same education verticals. And I think the most recent one, there are so many, so I'm just going to maybe land there. We just established a woman's wing of a drug-dependent rehabilitation center. It was one that was in existence but did not have capacity to welcome women. And we know that in terms of drug abuse, men and women are equally treated or actually exposed. And we felt during the month of March that it would be a very good idea to actually support that initiative and help them welcome their first women patients. So these are things we do. We are always open to ideas, and we really want to do things that make a difference in people's life and help them transform as they manage to walk a bit of their way with Baobab Microfinance Bank.
Let's talk about the microfinance industry in Nigeria. I mean, it's a very competitive one. So how do you manage to stand out in all of this competition in the industry?
Yeah, it's a very competitive one, and competition has increased recently. Massively, I'll say, with very interesting new entrants that are reshaping the market and the way, not just microfinance, but I believe the way finance and banking is actually looked at in Nigeria and beyond. I believe that what made us stand out is the quality of our people. When you look at the average tenure of a Baobab staff, especially the management team, you've got people that have been around for at least 15 to 14 years. It's very common to see someone that has been there for 10 years. And they've seen it through, you know, they've seen the market shift. They've always been able to react. And the quality of that management team and what they know about how this market evolves makes it easier for us to navigate. And that is supported also by the quality of the management we have at the group level. We are not just in Nigeria, we are in 7 African countries, and we are headquartered in Paris. So this gives us a lot of leverage when it comes to comparing these trends, seeing what how they've impacted other markets, and anticipating what may come next. So the combination of this local management know-how and the strategic insight that we are able to get on 7 other African countries, this gives us an unparalleled advantage when it comes to tuning our model to actually manage to not just exist, but stand out, as you said, in this very, very competitive market.
We're not done just yet. When Kaleidoscope returns, we turn our attention to more. Please stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Kaleidoscope on Channels Television. Now let's continue the conversation with the CEO and Managing Director of Baobab Microfinance Bank, Eric Ntumba. How well do you work with partnerships in Baobab Microfinance Bank? I mean, there's no organization that can do it all alone. So how do you work with partnership?
We've got interesting partnerships, and we are always keen to explore new ones. And whenever we see a specific skills or a specific product that could actually help us leapfrog, we do not hesitate. I think one of the astounding example is how we actually built our Jollof Plus application. We could have chose to build it in-house, leveraging on our own development capacity locally or at group level, but we chose to actually partner with a young Nigerian software company, Enyata, that did a beautiful job. And I believe that it has been a mutually beneficial relationship that saw both partners grow. We do the same when we look at other verticals of our business, whether it is to boost our transactional capabilities through a network of agents or merchant POSs. Sometimes we go alone, sometimes we consider actually teaming up with others. Same approach when it comes to our switching needs, where we are working with the usual suspects here in Nigeria. We do not attempt to do it on our own. And even in our digital lending strategy and journey, we considered what was the best offer locally and how it could best fit our model. But we refuse to be defined by the partners. We define what we want, and we see who will fit. For us, it's a bit like the African say, alone you can go fast, but together you go far. And yeah, we totally live by that saying.
When we look at the microfinance sector in Nigeria, how well have government policies helped to grow your sector, and what are those challenges that you face as a business?
I believe Nigeria was amongst the pioneer when it came to defining a national agenda on microfinance. And there's been, at the very beginning, very strong actors that actually paved the way for newcomers like Baobab at some point to come and join the effort that was already undertaken. I think there was a definite move and push from central bank to make sure that the microfinance sector was set up and was effective, and also to ensure its robustness. And you can just see how well this has worked when you look at the number of microfinance banks. You have more than 700 microfinance banks active in Nigeria. I don't think there is a comparison anywhere on the continent. So that gives an idea of the strength of the regulator. What sometimes is perceived directly when someone comes from outside of Nigeria is also the level of digitalization. When you live in Nigeria, you don't actually directly realize that you are quite advanced, and by far, when it comes to digitalization and real-time settlement of transactions and seamless transactions from bank accounts to wallets, when these things are still being built as a dream in some other African countries, in Nigeria, it has been a reality for a while. And I think what's interesting to notice is that the regulator stays ahead, despite the strong push towards these new territories. And they have already engaged on conversations like open banking that will take the Nigeria financial landscape to its next height. So yeah, I'll say the sector is doing well. It has a lot to do with the quality of the regulators, but the main one being the Apex Bank, the CBN.
Where do microfinance banks stand in Nigeria? We talked about insurance and how people are not embracing insurance enough in Nigeria or in Africa. Now, when we talk about microfinance banks, where do they stand in Nigeria today, and what do you think can be done better in the sector?
It's very difficult to have one definition of what a microfinance bank is now in Nigeria. Yeah. Because for me, the next biggest thing in the banking sector is probably right now a microfinance bank. Because it's totally reshaping the way people think of finance, whether it's loans, whether it's transaction, or whether it is how you actually get into contact with either a commercial advisor or a relationship manager. So I'm not going to say any names, but I believe that in the next couple of months, and I'm sure if you look at the news, you'll probably get a hint of who I may be referring to. The next biggest financial institutions are probably right now microfinance bank. And you also have traditional ones. And we used to be one until we decided to take the move to actually project ourselves in what's coming and in an effort to be part of it. If you look at the digital native ones, there are things they are doing that were not even heard of before, like delivering bank cards and so many other things they've started because they look at the customer from a customer-centric point of view, and they try to actually reduce at the minimum level any friction that they found between the best customer experience possible and what the market is currently offering. And it is in that slim zone that the one that are making huge waves right now have been successful.
Looking into the future now, where do you see Baobab Microfinance Bank? I know we've talked about working with small businesses. The biggest thing in Nigeria now and around the world should actually be MSMEs. So working with them, making sure their businesses thrive while you do your other operations. You've also talked about Jollof Plus, so you have a lot of platforms to help the economy in the country. So looking at the growth projection for Microfinance Bank, your Microfinance Bank, and looking at your corporate social responsibilities that you will continue to carry out as you run business, where do you see your organization getting to in the next maybe 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I see Baobab Microfinance Bank serving over 3 million customers, being present physically at least through a branch network, having more than 100 branches, and becoming one of the leading financial actors in Nigeria. I don't know if then the name microfinance will still be associated with the brand. Could be, because you could remain a microfinance bank for as long as you wish. That does not prevent you from having a real impact where it matters most. For us, the MSMEs will remain at the core of what we do, and we believe that the financial inclusion mandate that we have set for ourselves was not an opportunistic one, so it's something we'll pursue. But again, if you look on the continent, you've got history of microfinance bank that were microfinance bank 10 or 15 years later, and that are now giants leading the banking industry in their respective regions. I believe that has happened in Southern Africa, that has happened in Eastern Africa. I have no doubt it will happen in Nigeria. And Nigeria is usually much more ready in terms of market density when you look at the population. I can say that also in terms of technological readiness of the people. If you crack it right, in Nigeria you can really grow fast and even surprised anyone. I'm sure we all know a couple of actors that were unknown are not really known before what we called the cash crunch. So it takes an opportunity, the right reaction for us to actually witness the emergence of a new leader or become that leader if we play our cards right. And this is something we consider actively. We think of it day and night, and we believe that it's totally possible. In our digitalization journey, we started by where it matters most. We felt we needed to make sure that we are able to raise deposits and that our clients and customers can actually save without having to go through the hassle of coming to the nearest branch or let alone knowing whether it is open, face the traffic. So we felt like we should develop a digital saving and investment app that will seamlessly allow them to manage their liquidity and to save for the rainy days. And that has worked quite well with very, very strong response for the market, showing that there is a need for such products, and it has been growing since. And we believe that now that we've sorted the deposit side of it, we will soon launch the digital lending part of the application, so that people also start seeing borrowing as something you can do seamlessly from the comfort of your office or your home. The basic idea is simple. We believe that banking should no longer be somewhere you go, but rather something you do. And this is what we're trying to achieve. And as we grow in size, in client numbers, and God helping in profitability, we remain committed to give back to the community through our diverse corporate social responsibility initiatives. We say corporate social responsibility when we look at the market, but internally we've got a full function that reports to me directly, which we call social performance management. So we've got someone fully employed to make sure that our social performance meets up with the business growth that we achieve. And that's reported, in a consolidated way at the group level, but also with international partners. We do submit ourselves to international audit on social performance management. So yeah, that's something that will never go away from what we do because it's part of our DNA. We are here to serve and we are here to support the growth of the country, and that will never change.
On that note, we draw the cuttings on today's edition of Kaleidoscope. Don't forget you can watch past editions of the program. Go to youtube.com/channels web, type Kaleidoscope in the search box and scroll to find any edition of interest. Thank you so much for watching. I'll definitely see you again very soon. I'm Anne Nwawadu.